Okay, welcome back. Another episode of Baked Fresh with Brian Wilton. It ain't quite bread, but it will fill you up. God, I'm sure that upsets all kinds of people. We should be more serious about these things. We should be more serious about personal growth and development. I see a little too much seriousness. You know, it kind of culminates. I mean, it makes me crabbier than Tom Cruise on set. After throwing a stinking fit because of some bullshit he believes. You're not socially distanced and people are losing their jobs. Well, pay their fucking rent. Hot Rod, you got the money. Run around trying to be a cowboy. And why is it that the Western idea of masculinity is a female bovine and an immature male? Why don't we change that shit? Can somebody stand up and do that? That would be nice someday. We're going to go with the horse lord. Yep, there's you. Everybody talking about being an alpha. Do what I do and you can be an alpha. If I'm doing what you're doing, can we both be alphas? Shouldn't we just hook up and tussle, get a little tussle? No. It's all determined by the kind of woman you're fucking around with and how many you have on the side. Shut the fuck up. Good night. Give me a break. Good night. These dastardly dipshits of destruction running around running their mouth on the nightly news and on YouTube talking about this and that and the other. Well, they've got the credentials. I don't have any credentials. I'm a common man. I broke every rule in the book to get where I'm at. Feel pretty good about it, too. Everybody's having these unreleased fits. This thing with Tom Cruise, people talking about, he did the right thing. They were not properly socially distanced. No. The state that he lives in has got such a communist idea about how people should act with their own lives that is causing it's just a 110% Liza Minnelli kind of evil. Smells like sandalwood and spermicidal jelly. Makes me sick. I mean, good night. You people want to take that shit seriously? Oh, it's Tom Cruise. He's legitimate. No, he's not. He's a Scientology retard. Have you ever seen? I saw him on Oprah one time spin completely out of control because he was in love. Honestly, I hate to say it, but when Jamie Foxx slid in there and shot him out of the saddle, I was kind of like, you fucking deserve that. For being an ass. Now he's throwing a fit because he's the producer and people are losing their jobs and we're not socially distanced. And if I see it again, if there would have been one alpha in that crowd that had the balls to walk up and knock him in the dick, it might have made a much better story. But if you look at society right now, every day you have these people coming on D-Live with their fantastic programs, and they are good at what they do. Red Ice, Raging Humanist, they ain't no joke. They lay it down. How much more information do we need before we can walk up to Tom Cruise and punch him in the dick? Because that's what we're at. People aren't coming around to these spiritualities anymore looking for hope. Some of them are in a little bit of pain. What's happening is people are wanting permission. Somebody to say, okay, here's all the evidence. I know that you know it. You can tell everybody else about it like the back of your hand, and still nothing gets done. It reminds me of a story, and I like a good story just like anybody else. And it's probably old. Most of y'all have probably heard it. College professor walks into a room, standing there. I don't believe in gods. Well, I said God. The real thing said God. And if I did, and there's something, he's going to strike me down right here. And there was a muffled silence throughout the classroom. And finally, this Navy SEAL attending college on his GI Bill got out of his chair, walked up there, and knocked him on his ass. He said, well, the gods are busy, so he sent me. Everybody understand that's kind of where we are? Now, I'm not calling for violence. I'm saying it's time to say, look here, I got to do what I need to do to survive. We really do have people losing their homes. We really do have people at this time of year in some of the most stressful situations of their lives. Part of the problem is that we relied on somebody else for our own well-being and not our own. That always sucks. You're counting on, and see, here's the deal. Everything about our existence centers around someone else handling the quality of our well-being, dependent upon how much we can pay and when we can pay it. Now, don't ever do business with a Christian when he's got the good Lord on his side telling him how to fuck you on the deal. Because they're going to drag their feet. Well, we'll get around to it, doddering old fools, plottering around through the corridors. We have to begin to take responsibility for ourselves. You want electricity? Put solar on your house. Well, Brian, that's just stupid. No. Have you done it? Well, no, but I've researched it, and it just seems... Oh? Research it some more. Well, we got to have water and waste. Oh, get a septic tank. Get an aerobic septic. Drill your own water well. We rely on the very basics of our existence on somebody else who's making decisions on a daily basis, whose best interest may not line up, be congruent with our own. He's going to make decisions, or she's going to make decisions about how well she's going to succeed. She could give two shits whether or not your shit gets cut off. She could care less whether or not it's cold. They don't care if there's a storm. Oh, there's a pandemic. Well, it's really okay. They get enough unemployment. There's a financial stimulus. They should be able to pay. Oh, go get a job. Go figure that out. We're sitting here relying on everybody else and watching Tom Cruise throw a stinking fit because he thinks he's big enough to do it and bitching out people. Nobody talked to me like that since basic training. And those cowed people let this worm of a Scientologist cuss them out like privates because they believed the pandemic horseshit. I'm sure there were rules and people were investigating. Oh yeah, I'm sure everybody's paying attention. If they're really pushing the limits. He's pushing the envelope. He's creating the boundaries. He's creating a new frontier. Look what he's doing for us. Why didn't somebody say, you guys fuck off, I'm going to go over here and make a movie? Where's Kevin Smith when you need him, huh? I'm going to go over here to Texas and make a movie. You dickheads over here do what you need to. Sounds to me like that would work. California can't make a movie. Lots of filming locations in Georgia. Atlanta's got some impressive studios. I bet I could do this in Texas and it'd be okay. Nope. All of these people are going to go home, swallow it down, choke it down with the sandalwood and spermicidal jelly that it was spewed with, and let a little piece of them die because, well, I got to have this job. Because they rely on somebody else for their well-being. From the food they eat, the water they drink, the house they live in, somebody else has to be paid, and they have to be paid every month. Now, you can go out there and get involved in that and build yourself a fortune, or you can grab a hold of this kind of lifestyle here and become responsible for yourself. It's a hell of a transition. I see some good people making it. I ain't made it all the way, but you can bet your ass I got a plan for it. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm tired of watching good people I know doing their level best to try and come up short. Go out there on the playing field, give it all they got, come up dry. Nope. Well, I failed. Now I'm going to lose everything I own. Start all over. Nobody believes me anymore. That's because that's the thought process that's going on. We're encouraging all of these people to get out there and try to be successful, to go out there and risk it, to be daring. Buddy, they're living hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck. The best hope most people have in this world is a weekend to have drinks with friends. Now, how are we going to get out of that? Well, it's a real simple equation. It's a real simple equation. If your expenses are 10% and your profit margin is 5%, if you cut your expenses by 5%, now you've doubled your profit margin. This is the kind of stuff we need to be paying attention to. Or you can still continue to take a tongue lashing from Tom Cruise and cow down and live life and wait on somebody to give you permission to be great because you're too scared to jump out there and maybe even try something on the side. Cut your expenses, quit spending money, save money. Or you're going to be relying on somebody else for your well-being for the entirety of your life. And you're going to have to choke down that sandalwood and spermicidal jelly smell every evening, and it's going to suck. Think about it. breaking away from these patterns of society that everyone is so enamored with does not mean roughing it anymore. You're not going to live in a shack in the wood with a wood stove, though you can if you want. It would probably be very nice. You sure as hell wouldn't have to worry about the trash man coming around, or the water department cutting your water off, or the electric cutting your electric off. You wouldn't have to worry about getting up and going to work every fucking day. And you wouldn't have to worry about some Scientology fucking retard like Tom Cruise cussing you out like a private. You want a permission? Or do you want to become great? That resides within you. It ain't out there. It's in you. And it starts by handling your business like a man.